Hi guys, it is that time of the year again. Amazon Prime days are upon us, and that means pretty much everybody is putting their stuff on sale, whether on Amazon or not. I will list the things that I think are the best deals and stuff that I like to use for myself or that I have reviewed, and I will list it all down below if you don't want to listen to my lovely voice, but who wouldn't want to listen to me? So let's get into it. Before I start with the camera, something I do use every day and will probably sell out, these here, the Apple AirPods, plane rides, editing, everything. Really love these things. 40% off right now, so that is a good deal on those things. Now, I know a lot of Sony shooters watch the channel, so why don't we just start there? We have good news and bad news. Good news is there are a lot of Sony things on sale. The bad news is because they raised their prices recently due to tariffs like most of the camera manufacturers, the deals aren't quite as good as they could have been pre-tariff. Still, a pretty good time to buy, relatively speaking, and we'll go with APS-C. This A6700 sees its first ever price reduction, $100 off the A6700. Another APS-C camera, the one you're looking at, the ZV-E10 Mark II, that is down $100 as well. And my other angle is the FX30, and the FX30, I believe, is $200 off. And the previous generation, the A6400, sees a $150 price reduction, and the A6600 sees a $200 price reduction. So a good time to buy an APS-C camera. And of course, we can't forget little Dougie, the ZV-E10 Original. This is $100 off as well. So still a really good buy in 2025, in my not so humble opinion. In terms of Sony APS-C lenses, the 11mm, which I use all the time when I'm trying to do wide angle or vlogging stuff, the 11mm is $50 off. The 15mm 1.4 that you're looking at on the ZV-E10 Mark II, that's $100 off, as well as the 10 to 20 f4, that is $100 off. For Sony APS-C zooms, the 16 to 55G lens, as well as the 18 to 105G lens, they are both $100 off as well. Moving on to Sony full-frame cameras, there are two that are $500 off. The first one is the Sony A1. That is the original one, not the A1 Mark II. And then the next one that is $500 off is the A7 IV. So I think that's going to be a pretty big seller this Prime Day week, this Prime week. They do it all week now. Now, this camera is $400 off. I love this right here, this A7R5, $400 off. I got my tilty, flippy screen. I have 61 megapixels. I have 8K resolution. What a wonderful camera and an investment for me in this channel. Absolutely love it. Don't regret it since the day that I got it. Fantastic. You can also get the A7CR, which is a high megapixel camera in a more compact body, a rangefinder style body, and an easier carry, much lighter weight. You don't get 8K in that A7CR, but you do get the 61 megapixels, great for traveling photographers, for landscape photographers especially. Really, really good camera, and that one is actually $200 off because that's a cheaper camera than this A7R5 to begin with. But if you want an even better price point entry into the high megapixel market, the A7R4, the predecessor to this camera, the predecessor to this A7R5, that's $400 off as well. So you get those high megapixels for your portrait photography or your landscape photography or whatever you want to do with it. If you want more megapixels, A7R4 at a good price. Happy to see the A7C2 is $200 off. Overall, that might be Sony's best hybrid going when you factor in the price to features of that camera. It is fantastic, $200 off. And this guy right here, the Sony ZV-E1, one of my most used camera, 4K 120 at a tiny little crop, 4K 60, no crop. It gives you that FX3 and A7S3 sensor, but you have it in a small little lightweight compact body with that dynamic active stabilization. Can't say enough good things about the ZV-E1. This one is $300 off. But speaking of the A7S3, that is also $300 off right now. Still a fantastic camera to this day. Anyone who has an A7S3 usually finds no real reason to sell it. The previous A7C is on sale, $200 off, and the A7 III, which is the more photocentric version of the A7C. That one is $300 off, so you want the 2 card slots and the viewfinder that's there in the center, a few more photo features like a 1/8000 shutter speed in mechanical shutter. The A7 III is just still a fantastic professional photography camera and a great place to start if you are in the Sony lineup and you want an excellent full frame photography camera, whereas the A7C is more of a video focused camera in my opinion. It is still 8-bit, so doesn't have the 10-bit and all the new bells and whistles, but so often you don't need that, and it looks so good still in 2025. Sony has a bunch of full-frame lenses on sale. Most of them are $100 off. Happy to see this one right here that is stapled to my ZV-E1 all the time. This is the 16-25 f2.8. Love this lens. The most I've used any lens out of any that I have ever purchased. Use it constantly. And this is $100 off. This is a pretty new lens, so nice to see $100 off on that. If you wanted the 16-35, the G Master, then that one is $100 off too. Lots of primes on sale, like this 20mm f1.8, the 24mm f1.8, they're both $100 off, and the 35mm f1.8. This one is $100 off, but if you wanted to splurge and get the G Master, the 35 1.4, that one's $100 off. Zoom lenses as well, like the 24-70 G Master version 1, not the version 2, and the 70-200 version 1 as well. They are $100 off. 100-400 GM is $100 off, but the one I am really looking at hard here is the 200-600 G lens, $100 off. I've been eyeing that for about a year now. I think I will finally pull the trigger. And there are a nice few more Sony lenses on sale, either for $50 off or $100 off. I will list them all there down below so you don't miss any. Of course, for your lenses, you can't forget your most important filter. If you're me, that is this right here. It is a variable ND filter. You see how it goes dark and light, so I can just change the exposure there on my lens with this variable ND. This one is from K&F Concept. This is the Nano X, and so there is no X pattern. There's a hard stop on this guy. These are really affordable, not a lot of color cast at all that I can see, and I've been using them for a long time now. Just make sure you get the right filter size for your lens. Like this 24mm G Master here, it takes a 67mm filter thread. So this one doesn't fit on this because this is for my 11mm that I like to use on my APS-C cameras. I'd get a 67 for this guy. Now you can also get an 82mm and buy some step-up rings, but I like to just get the filter for my specific lens so I don't have to fool around with step-down rings. The little ZV cameras are also on sale. This is the ZV-1F, that's $100 off, but you can get the ZV-1-2, the ZV-1 for $100 off as well if you want a nice compact little Sony camera. Lumix has some stuff on sale, like this S5 2X. Check this out. That is a whole lot of camera for $1,900. And for $1,600, you can get the S5 II. You don't need that X, get that S5 II, $1,600 for a full frame, very capable camera. Smallrig have pretty much everything on sale. Here's a little cage from a ZV-E10. Never comes off my camera. Use it all the time. Things like this. This is a V-mount battery holder, and it just goes on to my tripods, so, or anything right here with this little hinge. Can you see that? So I like to stick that on my tripod, stick a V-mount there. Their V-mount batteries are also on sale. Things like magic arms and clamps are on sale. Either cages, half cages. Oh, tripods from Smallrig, like the Free Blazer. That tripod is 24% off, but so is this one here. This is the AD01, so you get a heavy-duty tripod that can support big, heavy camera rigs for your video setups, and this one's $124 now with all of the discount, so that is a no-brainer. Just stick that there when you need it. Manfrotto style plate here, fluid head that rests in a bowl. This is great for $124, and if you pay about, I think it's $300, you can get the Free Blazer. But if you want a super sturdy but compact travel tripod, look no further than the Falcam Tree Root, my favorite tripod on the channel to date. Really, really love this thing. It is $100 off, but if you go to the Ulanzi website, they're also having sales there. That is 22% off over on the Ulanzi site. And if you want a lighter weight carry, the Tree Root Lite is now out, and this is selling hand over fist for good reason with these really quick third of a turn twist locks and that F38 head. Really love this guy. It doesn't have an independent panning function. That is the only flaw, I would say, in this particular tripod, but still extremely sturdy and very lightweight. great to carry around. And that is also 22% off on Ulanzi's site, or if you go to Amazon, it is $100 off, which I think is 20% off. And Ulanzi will also have this on sale here, one of the all-time greats, the Ulanzi and Coleman F38. There is also a regular Arca Swiss version of this thing called the 0Y. I prefer the F38 for that quick on and off with those little tiny F38 plates that I have on the back of all of my cameras, the bottom, I should say, of all of my cameras. I just stick it right there on the back. But this thing, it weighs almost nothing, not quite as sturdy as the Tree Root tripod, so I probably wouldn't use it fully extended up for long exposures, things like that, but I use it constantly for travel. Love it. You can just fit it in your carry-on. You can stick it on the side of your bag. Really, this has been my most used tripod over the years. Lots and lots of third-party lenses are on sale. In fact, I will do an entire video about the cheaper third-party lenses coming up in the next day or so. This one here, though, the Viltrox Air series, this is the 25mm f1.7. This full price was $176. It is now $140 USD. I think that is ridiculous. This is an APS-C lens, this 25mm 1.7. I absolutely love it. The Viltrox Air series is the best bang for buck going easily, even at full price, but at $140, wow. They also have their new 35mm for APS-C f1.7. That's $143. So $3 more expensive at $143. That is this guy right here, the 35mm. But TT Artisan, they won't be outdone. No, where is it? Where's that tiny little lens? Here it is. Let me just take off the caps so you can see how small it is. This is 35mm f1.8. This is their version 2 here for Sony, and it's really, really great. I mean, the Viltrox is a tiny bit better optically, but not that noticeable. Really, not noticeable at all, really, unless you're pixel peeping like crazy. The autofocus is still really great, just like the Viltrox Air. Anyway, this one is $100. It's down to $100. So if you are budget hunting, you need a 35mm, which gives you roughly a 50mm equivalent on your APS-C camera. Then you just will go crazy when you pick up this thing, because the quality for $100, wonderful. People write me all the time about how much they love this lens. And TT Artisan also have a full frame lens, the 75mm f2. That is great for portraits. That's on sale for $160. I took that to New York City when Sony was doing the press event for the A1 Mark II, and I used the 75mm all the time there. It was just fantastic. I really, really like that lens, and at $160 for a full frame portrait lens, it is just a great deal. We're not done with Viltrox APS-C. They have the 13mm on, which I have here in the studio. 13mm is on for its lowest price I've ever seen at $388. So that is a great price for that really nice wide lens. Love the Viltrox 13mm. And that one is an f1.4, which is already great. But let's say you want to step to a 1.2 on your APS-C cameras. You can get these Viltrox Pro lenses on sale right now. They are over $100 off, $112 off. So again, the lowest price I've seen on these guys. So tariffs or no tariffs, depending on if you're in the States, 27mm f1.2 and the 75mm f1.2. These are, in my opinion, the best lenses that you can get for your APS-C cameras in terms of quality. The two Viltrox Prime lenses, the 27 and the 75. You will be absolutely wowed by the pictures, and to have such a low f-stop, it makes them compete with your full frame cameras. Basically gives you like a 1.8 in terms of background separation from a full frame camera on your little APS-C camera. That is so great. Look at the build quality of this thing. All metal aperture ring, switches for manual focus, autofocus. You can have it clicky or declicky for the actual aperture ring. This Viltrox have turned into an absolutely premium lens company, so take advantage of days like this and get their stuff at a steep discount, even though it's already a better value compared to the first-party manufacturers. Now, talking about some Viltrox full-frame lenses here, we have the 16mm f1.8. And before Sony released their 16mm 1.8, this was the only game in town, and it's still a much better value than that Sony 16mm. It is so great. Again, it is very much like one of their Pro Series lenses. Metal, it has a little screen on the front there that you can use for your nighttime photography, aperture ring, clicky or declicky. Really, really fantastic lens. I don't know how many nice things I can say about the Viltrox lenses, but I love them. They are much better than their prices indicate, and everybody is starting to know this now. At first, it was just a few reviewers talking about it, but now that the masses have these things, you really see how much the general public loves the Viltrox lenses. Viltrox also have their Lab series, their flagship series, on sale. This is $200 off an already great value. This is the 135 f1.8. This is for my Nikon Z3 or Z3, as I should stay here. I just got an email, probably more deals coming in. And they also have the 35mm 1.2. That is also, of course, absolutely excellent. I mean, if you don't mind a bit of a larger lens, the quality you are getting rivals a G Master quite easily. A couple of other third-party manufacturers I've been extremely impressed with over the last year of reviewing their lenses are Yongnuo and Mikey. You can see them right here. They are really great lenses for the price. The Yongnuo has the 11mm on for $268 right now. So if you compare that to the Sony 11, that's about $600. That is just a screaming deal. This one here for Mikey is $183 right now, so I love it. The tariffs don't seem to have affected these particular lenses. These, the Viltrox or the TT Artisans, they have stayed at their regular prices and now have been price reduced a great deal, so that's good news for you people in the US. And like I said, I will dedicate an entire video to the third-party lower-priced lenses. I'll list them down below right now, but I will do a deep dive into them because I think people need to see what's being offered during these Prime days, because some of those deals you need to snatch up. Zhiyun has come out guns a-blazing, especially with their Cinepeer line, which is their budget-friendly line. This is the Cinepeer Weebill 3E. This is the best bang-for-buck gimbal on the market, in my opinion, ever since I reviewed it. So I think that this is where you should start with your gimbal journey, because it's still a pretty compact gimbal but can handle quite heavy setups if you need it, and the price is great. You can get this right now for $199. So to have a pro level gimbal for $199, very good deal. They had their cool 5-array M20C modular light, and that is now $129. So I have a couple of these going in the studio. Always love them. Speaking of the studio, these things, the G60, look at how cute these are. I have these all around. They light up my background over there on my second set, because I have two sets here in them for shorts and stuff like that. I really, really love these lights because you can put them anywhere, and it has a little mini Bowens mount, but you can get an adapter and put on a big softbox if you want. In fact, I have an X100 over here, which is another Zhiyun light as my kicker light. The Cinepeer version of that, the CX100, is actually on sale for $143. And the Molus X60, I just had to turn off one of my background lights because I needed to show you the Molus X60. That's on sale for $151. That's what puts that color back there on the ground. I love these things. Two of them going right now. I gotta put my lights back. That's better. And if you need some bigger lights and softboxes on a budget, I would recommend the Smallrig RC120 lights. They're $207 right now. I have one of them going up there, lighting up my ceiling, and you can also get their softboxes extremely cheap right now, so I'll link that below as well. For backpacks, I would recommend you look at Ulanzi, especially this BP09. This is my regular camera backpack. It's on sale for $84 right now. That doesn't even make any sense that this thing's $84. I've been using it nonstop. It still looks brand new, protects my camera gear. So when I need the backpack going on the plane, I grab this one, the BP09. They also have a ton of other backpacks if you want a different version, some kind of thing where you have a roll-up top, or you want one that's bigger and more heavy duty. They have a bunch, so check them all out. But this one, $84. I mean, I would buy it again. I might buy it again. Oh, and on the strap here is my quick release plate for my camera, so I can just carry around my camera there, dangling down, because my F38 system goes with everything. So don't forget about your F38. You can get base plates, put them on your lights, put them on your cameras, tripods, backpacks, belt clips, whatever you need, F38, click it right in there. Can't recommend that system enough. Now that system is Falcam. They are a sister company to Ulanzi, but they are separate. However, Ulanzi do sell them on the site. They're having a big sale, so check out the Amazon and the Ulanzi site to see which one gives you a better deal. Ulanzi also have all their slings on sale. This was already cheap. It is now $51. I picked this up and I used this in Jamaica for my last trip. Take my little APS-C cameras, and then I can put in a couple of lenses, APS-C cameras, also my tablet. So I really like this one. So check out their slings as well if you're in the market for one. For little lapel mics, I think Hollyland wins here. The Hollyland Lark M2, the most popular mic on this channel. Can you see it right there in camera 2? Because it's so small. You can just put it, I like to reverse it actually under my shirt, and that way I don't have to use a wind muff. And this is it. That's my microphone right there. And the sound quality is so great. This is $95. When this first came out, it was $150. That was already a steal. Now it is $95 for the whole kit and caboodle. But a lot of people, what they didn't like about it was that it is a magnet, so if you're doing vigorous activity or you're running around, it can fall down. So Hollyland, they listened to customers and they offered an M2S, and let me show you right there in this camera. See, there's the M2S. It's a little, oh, sorry about the bang. It's a little teardrop microphone. It's so hard to show these mics because they're so tiny. But what this one is really great at is not showing any kind of logo. So you just pin it to whatever shirt you have, and then that's it. There is the microphone right there. Now, the only problem with this is that if you're out in the wind, then you need to use a wind muff, and then it becomes much more obvious what you're doing. So if you're going to be outside, out and about, I like the M2. If you're at conferences, you're inside, you want something that people can barely notice, then there you go. It looks nice and professional, just a little tiny button. There is the speaker. So the M2S, this is the first time this is ever on sale, $111 for this right now. So not quite as cheap as the Lark M2, but this is now their hottest seller, I believe, because people want to be able to hide that microphone a lot better and not have any logos going around, and the sound quality is still fantastic. $111. So I think Hollyland, you got it this year when it comes to the little mics and prices. But if you want a microphone that has internal recording, 32-bit float recording, and you can plug a lavalier in, then the Boya Mic 2 is probably the way to go on this Amazon Prime Day, because this is $159 right now. That is about half the price of a DJI Mic 2. Just looked it up. It's way less than half the price of a DJI Mic 2. DJI Mic 2 is $347. This one is $159 with all the sales. I reviewed it on the channel. You can check it out. Sounds really, really great for the price. And you can plug in the lavalier mic, make it nice and discreet. 32-bit float, internal recording, all the bells and the whistles, a great app. Boya is the more budget-friendly brand of Saramonic, and Saramonic make some fantastic sounding microphones and capsules, and they put those in the Boya mics. So check it out for yourself, $159. And don't forget to get the essentials for your work. Neewer have a bunch of C-stands that I definitely recommend, holding up all kinds of lights over here. And they also have magic arms, clamps. Neewer have their V-mount batteries as well on sale, their cages. Neewer has everything on sale, and you will get great prices on Neewer products. So check those out, of course. And then you get other things like cleaning supplies. Got to clean those dirty Sony sensors that are definitely dust magnets. I got this one here from K&F Concept. There's a bunch out there, but these are great days to stock up on stuff like this. Get yourself a gray card. These are already, I almost died. These are already quite cheap. This is $9 right now. So great for setting your exposure, and you can also set your white balance off it. You need a gray card of some kind in your bag at all times, at least in my opinion. Don't forget your storage solution. I use a NAS unit myself because I use terabytes and terabytes of storage with all of the videos that I do. So this one from Ugreen is actually 25% off, and it's better than my Synology, and I got my Synology all filled up, so now I got to switch that Synology over to the Ugreen ones right here, because they certainly are better for me. I just did a sponsored video on that, so let that bias factor in where it may, but I have to admit, it's a better NAS unit for me than my Synology. So I would recommend the Ugreen, and it's a great way to get a lot of space for cheap. And the hard drives, I use Seagate Ironwolf 16 terabytes. Those are the ones I use. I'll link those below if they are on sale. But if you just want a little blazing fast drive to edit off of, I always use the Samsung T7 SSDs. They are on for $119 right now to get a, what is that? A 2 terabytes for $119. So that's a good deal right there. I have one of those. So usually what I do is I edit the project quickly on the 2 terabyte drive, and then I take it over to my NAS unit for storage when I'm finished with the project. But I like to edit off those little drives because I can take them around everywhere, and they are really fast to edit from. There's a bunch of external monitors on sale, but best bang for buck I still think is the Porky's PT6. Look at that right there in the screen. Can you see that? Oh, look at that. Look at those muscles. This is in log profile. That's why it's a little bit washed out there. But as you can see, I use this in studio. I had to drag it over from my use case to show you people. But this one, $103, Porky's PT6. I would recommend this at least as your first monitor to help you check out your studio. There's other ones like the Atomos Ninja 5. I use that a lot to record, but this one right here is such a great value if you're just looking for a monitor. And you can also go with the 16:9. It has all of the functions of the big fancy monitors, but for $103 works great. And come on, these little mini flashes I reviewed, they were already super cheap. This was $29, this was $32. Now this one is $23 right here. This is the Zeneco ZF-04, the Zeneco ZF-08. I have it upside down, the ZF-08. This one is now $26, $23. The Godox IM30 and IM22. These little flashes are also on sale. Their original price was $34. I think they are $29 right now. So go watch that video because people do seem to dig it, and they do dig these little flashes. So have some fun, spice up your photography for very, very little money. So if you find any deals, post them down below in the comments, and then I will give you no credit whatsoever and take all of that sweet, sweet affiliate commission. Thanks for watching this. We'll talk to you again soon. Okay, bye-bye.